We've been reminded of the cost of war this morning. Do you think that the tone and the rhetoric of politics in the last week has undermined our national security?
There's no doubt that some of the tone and the rhetoric that has been used by Scott Morrison and the government this week reflects a political desperation, and it's been called out by the Department of Defence Secretary Greg Moriarty, by the Director General of ASIO, by former Director General of ASIO, former Ambassador to Washington, former Head of Defence and Foreign Affairs Dennis Richardson. We have a national interest in our unity, and what we shouldn't be doing is trying to conflate false distinctions where there are none. Australia's national interest is based upon us being united as a people, not being divided. And part of my pitch to the Australian people is I want to take Australia forward as one. Scott Morrison is prepared to undermine the national interest to prop up a Prime Ministership that has never been about much more of it than extending beyond his own self-interest. And I think if you want to stop discussion about the crisis in aged care, about the fact that wages are going backwards, about the failure to have an economic plan for the future, a failure to have an energy policy in this country that provides security for workers going forward, a failure to deliver on key promises, including advancing the Uluru Statement from the Heart, including having discrimination law about religious freedom, including having a National Anti-Corruption Commission, then no doubt you'll try to conflate issues and have a look over there a moment. Australia is united in terms of our national interest. Both Labor and the Coalition have exactly the same policy when it comes to China, and there is no national interest in the Prime Minister seeking to undermine that.
The Coalition's trying to paint you as weak. Are you vulnerable to that kind of attack, that kind of campaign, because you've run such a small target and people don't really know what you stand for?
Well, I think it's weak to undermine the national interest. I think it's weak to not be prepared to have a debate about economic policy. I think it's weak to decline, as the Prime Minister did this week in the Parliament, when I moved for him to have 10 minutes to talk about national security and me to have 10 minutes to reply. This is a Prime Minister who knows that his rhetoric doesn't meet the facts. This is a Prime Minister who knows that I've been in public life for 25 years. I've been engaged in the Australia-US leadership dialogue for 2 decades. I met with Secretary of State Blinken last Friday, 8 days ago, and renewed my friendship with Kirk Campbell and other people in the US administration. The fact is that I'll always stand up for Australia's national interest based upon our 3 pillars of our foreign policy: our alliance with the United States, regional engagement, and our support for multilateral forums, including the United Nations.